Welcome, guys, to the Chinese Grand Prix preview. The Chinese Grand Prix will be held this weekend on the Shanghai International Circuit. The Chinese Grand Prix had been held as the Formula One World Championship since 2004. They had a brief stop in 2020 to 2023. Some said it was due to Corona, which we all knew affected the world. For 21 to 23, some said it was still Corona, while some people said it was because of the issues that China was having with the world powers. But they are back on track in 2024, and they held a beautiful race last year in 2024 with the sprint race coming in, and we are going to have the first sprint race of the season also held in China this week. It's going to be a very interesting one. It is the most expensive track in 2004 when it was built, which cost $240 million, until the most expensive track up to date was built in Abu Dhabi, which cost $6 billion. When I told some people, they were like, oh, it's too expensive. They have money, but look at that track. That's where the whole races ended here. So back to China. That grid is a clockwise track. We had the clockwise in Melbourne. This is also a clockwise track in which we are going to in Shanghai. Remember, I said it is the first sprint race of the season, and we are going to have 56 laps for the main race, 22 laps for the sprint race. It has a circuit length of 5.451 kilometers. That's about 3.387 miles. The race has been held 17 times, and the driver with the most wins, Lewis Hamilton, with 6 wins. Constructor with the most wins, Mercedes, 6 wins. That is Lewis Hamilton giving Mercedes 6 wins. He did a good job for Mercedes before he left. A race length of 305.066 kilometers. Last year, it was a pole position for Max Verstappen, and it was a pole position win for Max Verstappen, with Lando Norris coming second. The sprint race was a pole position for Lando Norris, but a win for Max Verstappen. And the fastest lap for last year was a 1:37.8 for Fernando Alonso. This race is going to show us a new side of what we are going to enjoy in Formula One this week. What are we going to enjoy? We are going to have just one practice in which these drivers will learn. On Friday, we are going to have just 1 hour practice. From the practice, we go to sprint qualifying. From sprint qualifying, we go to sprint race on Saturday morning. From Saturday sprint qualifying, we go to the main qualifying for the race. Then Sunday morning, 8 a.m., we go for the main race, an entertaining race in which we are going to have a large turnout also this year, though we are not having any Chinese driver on the track, unlike last year in which we have Zhou Guanyu, but he has been dropped by Sauber. We'll still have a good turnout because a lot of people are coming to support Ferrari, while some people are coming to support their teams, and people are still going to support Sauber. But it's going to be a very interesting race. The weather is going to be dry all through, with very good weather for the race. We are talking very good weather for the race. We are going to be having a very unhealthy air quality. But on Friday, we'll be having 26 degrees, sunny and very warm. On Saturday, it will be very warm with plenty of sun. For the sprint race and for the qualifying, it's going to be plenty of sun. The track temperature will increase. The precipitation is 0%. On Sunday, it will be a little bit warmer with 22 degrees. That's how they'll be 27 degrees. But Sunday, we'll be having 22 degrees. The temperature will come down. The track will be more cooler. But you still know that the McLaren keeps their tire better. Ferrari also keeps their tire better, but not like McLaren. But the Mercedes and the Red Bull eat their tires like chewing gum. So it's going to be a very difficult race for them. The McLaren are still the benchmark. They are still the fastest. But we can see that during the season, other teams will bring a faster car. They will do a lot of work on their car, and it's going to make the car faster. But that is what we're going to be having. The temperature is going to be clear all through. So we still have a lot of drivers learning. Like Lewis Hamilton, he will still be learning in Shanghai, because the only place you can learn more is during the race. And the sprint race and the qualifying and the main race will give him more avenue to learn more. And I think you are going to see a better version of him after Japan. We're having the W Series also in Shanghai, so it's going to be very interesting. We're having the female drivers on the grid. Tire strategy, I think it will still be the tire strategy we had for last year. We should still be having the C2 as hard, the C3 as medium, and C4 as soft for the tire strategies. Then the tickets, there are still lots of tickets available. The tickets are not so expensive in China. They're having tickets from $619 to $775 for the whole weekend. So I think they are not too expensive. If you're having the lower tickets are already sold out, the $591 ticket for the whole weekend. These are good tickets, but we have tickets as high as $2,800. Those are the elite tickets. Like I said, it's going to be an interesting race. You don't want to miss it. Who are my favorite? The McLaren are still the favorite. Now, the rest of the grid will be having the Ferrari battling the Mercedes and the Red Bull this time. But who will come on top? I still believe that Max Verstappen still has the edge. They've been able to improve the car to make the car better. The Ferrari-Mercedes battle, I think coming into this week, the Ferrari will have the upper hand because it's going to be a dry weekend and they can get their setup nailed from the first practice, I think they'll be able to improve through the remaining part of the race and they will be able to open up the gap to Mercedes going into the next race. But the favorites are still the McLaren, and who to win the race, it will come down to strategy. Though the McLaren are having the pace, but strategy will come in. It will play a big role. It's going to be technical and very difficult for them to race in that weather, and a lot of people will lose tire, but the McLaren still have the tire advantage, but it's still a McLaren race to win. Up until the first practice and the sprint qualifying, you don't want to miss the China race in Shanghai. I love you guys. Bye.